Hello everyone, welcome to our December 2017 newsletter. We've made it this far. Yay! You guys know us, Margaret, EE, Bentham. I don't think we need to...
No, it's Evil Bentham today. He's got the mustache and beard.
I know, yeah, Evil Bentham. I was like, do you normally have that? Because I never noticed that before. He's like, no, we've been taking a break off camera.
There was a transporter accident.
So tell us in the comments below what you think. Do you like it? No,
This is my winter coat. It'll be shed before January.
He's going to shave it off. So... First of all, thank you, heroes, and hello. Welcome to our newsletter. We hope that you guys enjoy it. We're going to be going over things pretty quickly here, trying to move things along. But to start things off, as we always do, we go over shows this month. So we'll talk a little bit about those. We've wrapped up Divinity Original Sins. So, and obviously want to do our special thank you to our special sponsor. I don't know if I'm going to say this right.
Whoop-de-doda.
Whoop-de-doda. For episode 5. So thank you for sponsoring episode 5. That means so much to us. And I guess Ella, EE, and Bentham kind of take it away with how your thoughts are on the series since we wrapped it up.
No, it was really fun and very different from what we usually do, seeing as it was based in a game.
That was so weird to GM. I'm not used to GMing linear things. So
I think from the viewer's perspective, a lot of people had, especially the people who listen through MP3 and stuff like that, they have like a lot of problems with like people not describing things right, because you already have the visual there. Yeah, you already have the visual there.
There's so much visual going on that it's hard to make it work for an MP3.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the visuals were really cool. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, very well put together world and everything. Like it all made sense and
really, it all made sense. I was running around in the background being like, I need to put things in so it makes sense.
I can't believe that you thought that all that stuff would be needed for one session originally.
Yeah. You got a little. I know those feels.
Put together a small world.
Hey, I put together a series of cats.
I loved all the cat stuff though. That was really cool.
The cats
talking
are my
cat.
favorite part.
Yeah.
I like it when they came to the final cat and they were convinced they had to talk to the cat in cat, and the cat went, "You what, mate? I'm not stupid." They were like, "What?"
It's so good.
Well, I just got used to Ragnar speaking cat.
How do you guys think the series went in general? Do you think that you'd want another Divinity series, or did you think like the story wrapped up really well, that kind of stuff? What are our learnings?
Wrapped up well, and because of the preparation necessary, I don't know if another one would. Yeah.
I don't know. There was like 30 hours of prep for that.
Yeah, it's something to that effect. 24 of those were streamed because EE's crazy.
Yeah, EE's crazy.
I want to go back and watch those streams now and see your thought process.
My thought process was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
But it'll take me like a week to actually watch it all.
You could just watch like the entirety of Layla. Oh, no, like a third of Layla.
Yeah, Layla takes 3 days, as we've just established.
Speaking of Layla, we'll move on to Layla the Vampire Slayer, where we want to do a couple special thank yous here for episode 17 sponsor, No Late Game. I was thinking of the anime. No Late Game. Thank you so much. You've been an amazing supporter for us. We really appreciate it. And of course, the one, the only Cloud with episode number 18. So thank you.
Cobra Naga as well for episode 7.
Oh, I didn't see the episode 7 there. I messed that up. Oberon Naga, episode 7. Thank you. Yeah, he came in a little. Yeah. So thank you guys so much. It's been amazing that we've been able to support streams and stuff like that with that. And I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about some other stuff that's costing us a lot of money. So things that we really appreciate. And as far as Layla goes, we wrapped up our holiday special of Layla with episode 18, which EE, you always deliver. Got us all tearing up. Because we had our marathon of Layla. If you guys, I know a few of you have been tuning in to watch that.
Did I manage to make you cry again in the marathon?
No, I mean, tear up but not cry. I cried. I saw that I even pulled out the tissue. I was like, oh my god, I forgot I did that. I bet you were. Like, the look on your face when things were happening, you're just like, yes. And the rest of us are like, oh no.
There was an excellent quote in the Discord about it recently. This is spoilery. I'll try and keep it less spoilery. Episode 12 was the stab. The Skype call was the twist of the dagger. And the presence was pulling it back out.
Oh, totally. That's good.
Except it's a little bit of a barb dagger, so on the way out, it kind of hurts a bit.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's great about like longer series is because you get to like really know the characters and their development. And I think we were just talking about it before we started this with someone mentioning, you know, oh, no wonder why Layla is kind of like a jerk and doesn't care about stuff. Like, look at her parents. And I think like getting to see Imogen's family and, you know, where Rob comes from, and now this whole craziness that is families. is kind of really cool. And I was just saying that I think it's nuts that we have so much background for fictional characters. I think when we were watching the marathon too.
Long-form content.
Yeah, and people who were watching the marathon were like, "Man, I've never felt so much for fictional characters before." I have though, personally, because I read a lot of books, and so I've cried like reading a book before a couple times, like during character deaths and things like that.
Okay, so I need to
Flint, I love you, Flint. If anyone knows where that come from, let me know down below. I think we'll move on to holiday special. I got to GM. I was super nervous. I was gonna have like a heart attack before that show.
Did great though.
Bentham was like that ending was solid.
That was fun.
Yeah. You did a fantastic job. I didn't want to like put you out there with your little special secret. Although a lot of people said they because they watched the after show and they knew about it and they were like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting it to be like that." And you just like, "Oh, it's so good." And Evil E.
And this one, the glory of Motherland. Down with capitalist dog center.
He can't stay away from it. Everything was randomly rolled, and he still ended up being like an evil. And he even rolled the accent thing. I was like, oh my god, why?
Foreign accent, infiltrator.
They were rigged.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone's like, good luck, Maggie, trying to GM that. I was like, oh, I think I did an okay job. But yeah, you were definitely doing some crazy out of the box shit.
And everyone wanted to support this episode.
What?
Everyone wanted to support this episode. We had 3 different supporters. At one point, they were planning on all as a group supporting one episode, and we're like, we'd sort of like it spread out. We were supposed to have one per show. Just
that's fine. I think if they all agree with it.
Too, but you've kind of said you'll support other shows now.
They all tried to pile on, but this one was supported by Digital Zero, Jofu, and Lucas.
Yes, thank you so much. Obviously, on our side, we're splitting that money around to all the shows, but I think you guys have no idea how much this has helped us, especially right now with all the contract stuff that we're working on the legal back end.
I have spent the last.
We'll talk a little bit about that. Poor E. He has he goes through these spikes of lots of stuff and then he can chill. Lots of stuff and then he can chill.
My work is just constant ramps up and down.
I think once we get all the foundation done, we'll be good.
That's what happens with all my work.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what you get for finance and legal stuff. On the GM side, our GM one-shots, we have 2 this month. We have increased the amount to 8, right? Like 8 is the amount.
Yes, we've upped our legend tier capacity from 6 to 8 because there was demand.
Insane.
Yeah. It got filled immediately.
Yeah. We upped it by 2 and then it immediately got filled. So when we put this tier out there, we were not expecting people to actually be part of it.
A year ago, when we made that tier originally, it was basically a joke tier, and now there are 8 people at it, and 1 person at the joke tier we made above this tier.
Well, I think for us too, we did know there was demand in some cases, because you guys actually asked for this, and you even mentioned that the $200 mark would be a good mark for how much you'd want to pay. So it was like, they're asking for it. I guess we see if they want it. And
we were
when we got feedback,
we'll probably get like 1, maybe 2 people a month. We'll fill it up with, a couple of players, a couple of mods. It'll be great. And now we're like, we need more GMs for the thing.
And we're like, no more mods, no more, like, limit the amount of players that are part of it. But like some of us will hop in. So if we have more experienced GMs, like I know that Lauren's GMing the D&D one, right? So she can probably handle a little bit bigger of a party, things like that. So we'll do our best to kind of work with people, but and we're paying the GMs for that are getting paid as well. So don't feel bad. We're going to give them their monies as well. But yeah, so Bentham's going to be doing his, or he already did by this time, right? You'll have already done your...
The 23rd.
No, we already did it.
The 20... Oh, you already did it. Okay, cool.
Yep.
How did that go? How was it?
It was good. I think everything went crazy and a bit off the rails. That was like... This was one where, like, last session it was me screwing over the players, and this session it was the players screwing over me by doing...
You said they had unlimited...
was part of it?
No, it wasn't me.
Okay.
I was told by Jofu, who is the captain of the ship, EE, go crazy. I was like, okay, and then they went crazy and bought every upgrade they could for their ship.
I gave them unlimited budget because I was then going to limit what of their budget they actually got to use based on rolls, and then they rolled really well and got all the stuff.
That's how they always do it, man. He's the same way. He's like, oh, I wasn't going to let you guys do this, but you rolled really well. So
and then Benson balanced it by giving the enemies like tier 5 arcane technology black hole guns, and we got on board one of the ships, and I went, okay, I've got the ability to hijack anyone's system once. I hijacked the black hole gun. No, Lake, can you shoot that at the other enemy ship? So we shot the enemies with their own guns?
I gave them twin capital ships, and they
That's
shot
so good.
With the other ship.
And the one ship we were on, we shut down.
Now that we have been doing that Stars Without Numbers twice now, this was requested. People enjoyed the first one so much. They requested another one. People have been wanting you to DM like a full session someday. I know Bentham wants more practice, so I think the one-shots are really good for you.
I don't think I'm yet at the level of...
Yeah, whenever you're comfortable. I mean, obviously we're not gonna... I know, I almost had a heart attack doing the one the special sponsored one. I was
against doing a private game and actually running a series. There's a lot more work and stress and stuff, and I'm like...
Yeah, because I was like nervous about the one shot, the D&D one that I did, but I wasn't that nervous. I didn't like have an anxiety attack like I did with the holiday special. I was like, my heart hurt. And then Lauren's gonna be running her D&D game, which will be done by the time this comes out, but she hasn't done it yet. So are either of you in that one? I'm not in that one.
He is.
Okay.
I may have made a really strange build because I was like, Xanthor's Guide just came out, and I want to play some of this stuff to test it, and I was like, Lauren, can I join your game? What do you need? You need tanks and healing. Okay, I'll play a Paladin 5, Warlock 1.
Ooh, fun. Ooh, that's a good combo, because you can do like a damage shield type of thing.
I've got... Okay, so, those of you at home, play an elf. Get the new feat, Elven Accuracy, which means that anytime you roll with advantage, you roll an extra d20. Then, as a Warlock 1, if you use your curse on your target, you get... you crit on a 19 or a 20. Then, if you use your Vow of Enmity as a Paladin, Vengeance Paladin, your target you have advantage against. So, if I vow and curse them, I have advantage, which I get 3 dice for, and I crit on a 19 or a 20. And because you're a Paladin, after you hit and you see you've got a crit, you can choose to do a Divine Smite, burn a spell slot for extra dice, and of course, because it's a crit, you double all dice. I can do an average of 60 on a crit, and I crit 1 in 3 times.
That's pretty sweet.
Of course, it's like single target because you have to vow and curse them. 6. So you've just got
okay, because you're level 6 too. Yeah, so it's much harder once you get to, or much more fun, I think, once you get to higher levels.
Yeah, 6 is like where that build takes off. It's a pretty good
cool.
combo.
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to trying it out because, of course, I'm also Paladin, so I've got heavy armor and I can heal some stuff as well. So pretty useful for the team. They had a lot of magic people, so I was like, I'm just gonna be a tank person.
And Bentham, you said you wanted to maybe do a write-up of your Stars Without Numbers one?
Yeah, I was thinking that I might write out the story of the first 2 sessions and
maybe you could put that up for a GM tier or something.
Yeah, maybe, or I might just have, like, everyone can see it. I'm not sure. I'm still working on that.
Okay.
I've written, like, a couple paragraphs.
Oh yeah, you could do it for, like, all patrons. That'd be kind of fun. That'd be a nice, like, little gift. People would enjoy it, I think.
Spoilers! It will also persuade you all to want to go to that tier so you can
no!
That's our cunning marketing.
There might be some people who will drop out from that tier to open up spots. But yeah. It's hard because...
It's full, even if we expanded it.
You can also write the introduction of Bobot. Hello,
Aw.
I am
could do
boarding
better.
our breach robot. Baba,
Oh
to you.
God.
Call me
the
Bob.
character.
Oh goodness
Who's a
gracious.
psychic
psychic-
robot?
Yep, a psychic AI.
That's pretty
Could
good.
like I was it was supposed to struggle with hacking, and then he's like, I have this thing that lets me insta hack.
I could only use it twice until you said they could spend whatever on their ship, and then they just bought an extra processing hub on the ship so I could use it 7 times.
Oh goodness.
And then with all their spare money, they bought me an anti-vehicle weapon. So when we
Yeah.
teleported on board, I just turned to like the guard next to me and just went put a hole through the ship.
Oh my God. I think the one shots have been really fun too, because I think as cast members and even like just DMing and stuff, it feels more chill. Like you can just have a little bit more fun with it. You're not worried about entertaining people. I think that, I mean, maybe you guys don't see that as much as we do on our end, but we have to always be conscious of like, we're putting on a show, you know, we're not just only hanging out and playing a tabletop game with each other, which is a lot different than I think just sitting around playing. So I think having that kind of experience is really nice.
Yeah.
But let's move on to our next thing. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. Unfortunately, we could all talk tabletop all day. We want to tease a little bit of stuff. I think a lot of you guys have been seeing, or if you haven't seen it, this is your chance to get a little tease. We have added 2 new projects, Project Steam and Project Spark. We're not going to say exactly when these are going to come out, but potentially one, we're thinking January start time, and then we'll see what happens with the other one. But yeah, we'll be doing a bunch of teases like we always do. We'll be teasing characters, we'll be teasing people who are going to be on those characters or GMing or things like that. Like we said in the past, we're always going to be trying to increase and add new people to the mix of things. So hopefully you guys enjoy all the new cast members and bringing back some of the old peeps.
We'd like to give you like any information about it, but until it's confirmed, we can't really say.
We need to like
sometimes
lock it
things fall
in.
through, we might, and yeah.
Yeah, we're locking in contracts, which is something we're going to talk about coming up next. But going forward, starting in January, we are doing contracts for everything. We're going to post-contract all the people who've already done stuff with us, which has been a process. And January is the end of the Layla season 1. Who is he going to kill off before the end?
Oh,
Who's going to have to make a new character?
Everyone.
Oh my God. No.
We just used the nuclear
I don't
codes
think
that
you could
Robert
have a
got.
season 2 if like that was the case. People have been
nuclear
asking.
code.
People were
Nuke
like,
everywhere.
"Well, what happens if Layla dies? Do we have a new episode of, or do we like change the name?" I was like, "Well, Buffy dies a few times, and they bring her back, so."
I don't know, if Layla dies, you said you wanted to play Violet.
Oh yeah, Violet would be fun. But I
We
also
can
think like
have-
Layla's the main character, so you kind of got to keep her. Unless you're gonna do the angel thing, where now we do Barnaby. I don't know.
I mean, well, if you die and Layla dies, right, and you take up Violet or something, what happens if Imogen gets called as a Slayer?
Oh.
I don't know if she can. Well, I don't know if that would be the thing, because usually it's not a witch, right? But yeah.
It can be. Witch powers are not allowed. What's the word? Mutually exclusive. I think.
Not prohibited.
Not prohibited.
There we go.
It would also be super OP, so probably not.
Well, we'll see how that ends. I'm very excited and nervous to see where that goes. I mean, every episode has just been heart-wrenching. So thank you, EE, for the amazing story that you're plotting for us. And of course, all the cast members of that show. I don't think we ever expected it to be as crazy as it has been. So thank you guys. And oh my gosh, the fan art. I never can get over the amazing fan art that you guys do. I am working on the thing that I mentioned before about the fan art, which is going to be like a submission process for fan art. So we have the rights to use your stuff. I just need to finalize that. It'll probably be end of January when we get to that, because we have a lot of prep that we're doing right now.
Yeah, it turns out that if you've got like a holiday where like people are away for over a week, 2 weeks, and then you have a lot of stuff happen, and then you also have a lot of Patreon goals get hit, apparently there's a lot of work that backs up. I mean, who'd have thought, yeah?
Exactly.
Like everything had stopped over these 2 weeks. No, only the shows did.
Yeah, on our end, we're definitely trying our best to keep up with stuff. I have a lot of stuff to do. Moving on to Patreon, I think that's a great transition for us.
Speaking of which, also,
Go ahead.
since Layla will be ending end of January, let us know after Layla ends if you want a season 2, because we have no idea if you want a season 2. Like, we're not sure. Like, if you want a season 2, I guess we could maybe do one, but you'd have to, you know, just let us know that you want one. That'd be great. So
there's like people asking for season 8.
Yeah, they're like season 8 in a movie. They're already on it. Yeah, let us know. Definitely let us know in the comments below if you want it. And give us little hearts on Patreon if you want to. And tell everybody to do so. Moving on to Patreon, we have some quick updates, which probably aren't going to be quick, but we'll try our best to make them quick. First of all, the special holiday gift went out your guys' way. Ollie Rant made that art. Thank you, Ollie Rant. Very quick, fantastic. Did exactly kind of what I think EE kind of envisioned, the stocking type of thing.
I can't remember how we came to it. I think we said something.
I think you mentioned that, and then we kind of all built on it.
Idea,
yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe you wanted it on a mantle, but then we were thinking it wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to fit.
I think my idea was that we'd customize things for each character, and I can't remember how we came to the conclusion in the end, but it worked. So
it might not have been stockings originally. It might have been something else. I just can't remember what it was.
Do you actually have one in front of you, Bentham?
Crap. Probably. Hold on.
Because I don't have my one yet, because it's in my mailbox and they're closed.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm not home yet. Obviously, I'm in another room.
I was in charge of postage, and so I have like 50 of them still.
Yes, they turn out so good, and the signatures looked really good.
You gotta work out who's who. Some of them are obvious, but yeah.
Yeah, some of them are very obvious, some of them aren't. But originally we were like, oh, should we put... We're like, no, we want to keep you guys guessing and have you guys try to figure out which one's which. So hopefully you guys enjoy them. And again, thank you, Ollie Rant, for the amazing art. He's kind of... We have like 2 artists, and he's one of our backup artists. So we've been working with him as well. Speaking of artists,
Jesus,
he's so fast. I told you he was fast. Speaking of which, moving on to our posters, Wesley is working on, well, finished the next poster that you guys are going to get, and we all have seen it. It is so good. I'm like actually shocked it's better than the Layla one, in my opinion, to some extent.
I really like it because it's got like a really strong theme with that whole green cast to it.
Yeah, I think you guys are going to really like it. And I think he did a really good job with the facial expressions on the people's faces and stuff. So it has less environmental stuff. Like I think the Layla one was very spot on with environmental stuff, and I think Wes is just enjoying the crap out of it. He's been rewatching all the episodes of everything, and he's just really enjoying it. And he's like, "Can I just do this forever? Like this be my job?" So that's the kind of artist you want working on your stuff, is somebody who's really passionate and loves it, and he loves tabletop gaming stuff. So it was kind of a perfect fit, and he wants to do more illustration. So you guys have your next one coming up, and we're going to be working on our one for January already. Yeah, for January. And we should have him all the details at the beginning of January, and he'll get started on that. I know.
Within a couple of days of this video coming out, you should see the this art appear.
Yep. And then we have... Make it wallpaper. Yeah, it's gonna be good. And the same rules will apply to
different monitors.
I have to get all of these things printed and posted. I really want to make like a room that has just all the cool fan art and stuff.
I should probably. I really like this one a lot. I might actually do that with this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it with the Layla one for sure. And then beyond poster, we're moving into animation. We have locked down our animator for that. We are just trying to lock down the scene. Well, we have the scene locked down, and all of that. We're just figuring out any other details that we need to, or if we need to edit it down. He had the struggle of making it 2 minutes long.
Yeah, like the entire chunk that we had was like 30 minutes, and I had to then cut it down and manage to find the 8-minute segment we wanted to use, and I had to edit the 8-minute segment, so I edited it down. And
I think it's going to be fine. So, but we'll confirm with him, and if he's cool, then we're going to work out all the details of all the things. And there's going to be a lot of initial work for the animation, because he basically has to make all the characters and stuff like that. But once those are made, the future ones will be much easier to make.
So if we want to Layla Season 2, then at least that'll be easy, because we've got the Layla people already made. So
exactly.
So that's kind of pro column.
So yeah, the first one is going to take a while, because it'll be the like getting things in order. But then once it's done, they'll start coming out.
Exactly. So we just want to preface that with you guys, and he is requiring the payment to be a little bit different. And obviously EE has been amazing working on contracts for all of these art things. Everything's been contracted. So thank you, EE. We appreciate it.
I'm drowning in contracts.
We literally had a full meeting just on reading contracts, and EE was reading it to us. And
it was story time with EE.
Bentham's a spell checker.
Yeah, I'm good at spelling his spelling error.
Yep. And I'm just like, keep talking. I'm filling out this other stuff.
I can reveal the scene that we're using in the animation, right?
Do we want to reveal it?
Yeah, we've locked down that scene. We can reveal it.
Okay. You guys can reveal it. Do you want to reveal it, Bentham? Bentham's excited. Let Bentham do it.
The scene is the take it off scene from Layla episode 3.
You want the babies for yourself!
I just can't wait to see the animation of Layla double nut cracking people. It's gonna be
I can see Barnaby take the top off and be like shiny.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh. He hands the baby over. Oh, I love it. And
then
moving on,
Layla
we gotta
and
keep...
Imogen both get like kawaii eyes, like ah.
Oh my gosh. And then moving on to our next thing, which is merch. I know you guys have probably been wondering. It's been a little while since we hit that goal. It is a lot of back-end work and money. On the end of...
Animation is very expensive.
Yeah. Animation is expensive, but we booked that $1,500 for the animation, and I think our goal is with that is we're going to try it, see if people like it. If people like it, I think you guys are going to like it, and you're going to want more. We'll keep going with it. Otherwise, we can readdress our goals and fix those up and use the money elsewhere. So keep that in mind. We are going to always constantly be looking at that and reassessing goals as well. On the merch side of things, I don't know if you want to kind of take this away, Iggy, because it is kind of more. I don't know if you want to talk about the back end of what's going on with that.
What exactly. The merch?
Yeah.
Well, basically, we decided that instead of just being like, we'll put our logo on a t-shirt and a pen, and then we'll put them on a store, we decided we'll look into doing it a little bit more fancy and have some more bespoke, more tailored things. Which, because we're going to do them in a fancy manner, means that we're probably going to get them pre-made and then sell, effectively, things that are made rather than having them made to order when you buy them. Because that gives us a couple of advantages. Firstly, we can make more fancy stuff.
I think we've talked about that part before, like in the last one. I think it's the legal side of things.
Oh, the legal side of things.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that, because we've already talked about the other end of things.
Okay. What legal side of the merch stuff? Like the whole complicated, we need usage rights and these rights and all the rights.
Yeah,
so the way it works with copyright.
Trademarking things. I don't know if you want to talk more about that.
With copyrights, there are 3 copyrights. You've got the person who makes the thing, the person who designed the thing, and the person who conceptualized the thing that is then being designed that goes on the thing. In copyright. So it's really complicated, and luckily British law is really helpful, because British law is like, if you hire someone to do a thing, you own all the rights to that thing, whereas American law is a bit weirder. So for simplicity's sake, I've had to design contracts for all the artists which just say, when you make us a thing, we own all the rights for the thing you're making for us, because obviously we are making the thing for you to... So it means that I had to write a lot of contracts, basically. Also, we're also doing trademarky stuff, which means we're applying for trademarks, which turns out is really complicated because each country has trademarks which have categories for different item types. So you might have trademarks for clothing, not including leather clothing. Leather's a different class. Leather's a different class to clothing.
Why is leather a different class? That's so weird.
Because I think leather goes under protective outfits and leather, because I think it's animal product or something like that. I can't remember how leather goes.
Gotta get that AC.
Just saying that if we want to make leather merchandise for Roll4It, it's going to be very expensive for us to trademark that.
Right.
So I don't think we bother. Anyway.
Oh man, no Layla Slayer.
Well, you could make it. It's just we wouldn't trademark it because I cannot be asked to pay the thousands of dollars to trademark that.
Totally.
So you've got a trademark in each country, in each class in each country, and then pay the lawyer fees and the filing fees for each class. And
we have a lawyer, you guys. I feel so professional.
Yeah,
we had a meeting with him. He seems he actually gets us, which is nice.
I had a meeting previously to this to talk to non-gaming lawyers, and they were like, "What do you do? Oh, we're a Twitch channel. What's that? Okay, so we stream. Oh, so you're a streaming platform? No, No. So we found a gaming lawyer.
Yeah, no, this guy was great.
Eventually concluded, right, that we're like a PC support line or something?
No,
like
the one I talked to was
IT.
like, you need to have the class 42, and class 42 is for technical services. And I was like, no. And they were like, but if you ever want to open a helpline, you'll need that. And I'm like, no.
We're not gonna open a helpline. Oh my gosh! I'm glad you found this guy.
Yeah.
Basically, EE was on the back end trying to find the right lawyer for us, and then he finally got one, and then we had a meeting together, and it was fantastic. And he went through everything really logically, made sense.
Yeah. Also, Brexit is complicated because Brexit means that the UK will be separating from the EU copyright thing, and the EU counts as one country effectively through the, I think it's the Madrid Protocol, in that you can apply for a copyright for EU-wide, but a trademark EU-wide. But because the UK is going to be leaving, it will need its own trademarks in the future, but no one's made any decisions about Brexit because everyone is being kind of crap. And so no one knows what's going on. And so we're there going, you know what, it's expensive to file in the UK and the EU, so we're just going to file in the EU and hope that the UK copies the EU when it leaves?
Well, if not, we'll readdress
we need more
that.
money to do that, yeah. So,
it's actually very expensive, and I don't know if you want to go over the cost.
Very simply, the cost is you need to pay a lawyer's fees for doing the filing, and you need to then pay each class, because there's a filing fee for each class, and each class is for each thing, like clothing, etc., gaming, whatever. And then you've got to do that for each country, and then you need a lawyer for a different country if it's a different law. And also, then if there's any, like, nitty-gritty, like, disputes or any, like, letters that need to go back and forth, your lawyer needs to be paid for those. So it's expensive, very, very expensive. And as a general rule of thumb, we normally keep a little float for expenses like this that we have sitting in the PayPal and stuff so that we can pay for things. That's basically all gone this month. And it would be negative if it wasn't for the fact that Bentham's agreed to be paid for the postage that he's owed next month.
Yeah, we're sending
so when people are like, oh my god, you've got so much in your Patreon, you must be rich, I'm just there going, we pay cast, we pay real expensive animation, art, which isn't as expensive as animation, luckily, and then trademarks happen, because important business stuff that you will probably never really see on the front end being ever useful to you guys, but it's actually necessary. It's frustrating.
Yeah, so that we don't have people coming to us being like, well, we own that now. And we're like, what? And then we lose all of our stuff. So it's one of those things, and we're just trying to be very careful about the back end of things. And I know people have been concerned about the money thing, and it's like, yeah, we have been using it. Don't worry, guys.
Oh, no, I'm saving it for Lamborghini. Yeah. At this rate, it'll just take me forever because we're in negative right now.
And we're going to have to zoom through the rest of this because I know we're on a time constraint. But Bentham, if you want to talk a little bit about the patrons and where we are, a little update on that, and then I'll go through all the stats really quick of social.
Yeah, the Patreon stuff's been going up recently. We've got 28 new patrons, putting us now at 586, which is, as before, more than we've ever had before, ever.
This is more than we've ever... This is our top, right? Ever.
Yeah, I think the month before last, we were still like below our highest ever patron amount, but we passed that last month, and we're now just continuing to go up. So that is awesome, and it's
very awesome. So thank you all. And
we also had the second highest increase if you ignore the launch month and the month after launch month.
Yep.
Are you talking about our launch or the relaunch or the actual launch?
Their very first launch.
The first launch, yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of like, that's always going to be an increase because it literally launched, and we've just had the second biggest increase if you ignore that, so...
Yeah, second biggest behind last month's Insanity.
And even then, it didn't quite pay for all the trademark stuff, so yeah. Lawyers are expensive, guys.
Well, I think, and that's a back-end thing, we won't be paying that monthly, so thank goodness. It's just a lot of upfront.
It's a lot of one-time costs for the moment.
I don't know, if we need to file our trademarks in Tanzania, Botswana, Ethiopia, I mean, each one of these is going to be expensive.
Oh, goodness. And then I'll just try to go through stats really fast for you guys, because I know some people were really happy about that, so we'll keep them in. For Twitch, our peak was 554, which is actually down from last month, which we kind of knew we were going to have like a drop. And then our average viewership has dropped, but keeping in mind that Our average viewership for the month is actually 100, which is really low, but that's because of the vodcasts that we had. They're affecting it. But our average viewership in general is 353, which is very close to what our average was last month. So it's not bad, just a little bit below. Our followers we've increased pretty drastically pretty similar to last month. Same with the views. And our subs, we've just been increasing our subs. So we're getting close. We need 30 more sub points, I believe, before we can get the new emotes, which is very exciting for us.
And then it's probably going to be some sort of, I don't know, there's like 3 or 4 different things that people in chat have been demanding we add.
Oh, if you guys have ideas, toss them down in the comments for us too on like emotes, because I know we're going to try to get some made. Yeah.
Potentially we could cycle out some old ones and stuff, so...
Oh, yeah. We only have one emote that we haven't currently got uploaded.
Yeah, so we need to make more anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, but right now we don't have money to make that, because we did talk about it. We're like, we need to get some more made.
Hold off on those for the moment.
Yeah, we're going to have to hold off, but
so
hopefully we don't hit the goal.
Next month, and then add 30 sub points, and then suggest us an emote.
No, you don't have to wait. We'll figure it out.
No, just up now.
On the YouTube side of things, our subs have been increasing still, so we're doing good. Our total is at 7.3553, which is pretty good.
That
we're
was
up
what,
by like around
3 what?
7,353. Yeah, and our last month we were at 7,164, so we're 189 up. And our top viewed video, because you guys, I've been putting that in every month. Hopefully you guys are liking knowing that. Was oddly, and we were all kind of shocked that this was it. Layla the Vampire Slayer, Roll4It, number 16, Night Fever, which I don't think we were expecting that, and that was at 4,661.
I was thinking the Christmas one shot or the Christmas special of Layla would be.
I don't think it has lasted. It hasn't lived like its full month period yet.
That's the thing. I think the reason it's Night Fever is because that was on like the 3rd of the month, so that's just had the most time to get a lot of views.
And that might be the case when we look back at these. We're like, oh, okay.
So the order is Night Fever, episode 18, episode 17, one shot. And those are relatively tight after the 16, and 16's been up the longest, so...
Yeah. And then we have social media stuff. On Twitter, we're down from last month in general with impressions, mentions, and stuff like that. But I think it's because we did 66 tweets versus 90 tweets. Whenever we have like a more active show thing happening, we have a lot more tweets. And also,
Maggie was on holiday. Retweets. And also, weren't you like mainlining work into your veins through an IV for like 2 days or 2 weeks or something?
It's fine.
So yeah,
but our following has increased, so we're good. We're almost at 2,000 followers on Twitter, which is pretty cool. So if you haven't followed us over there, get everyone and your mama to follow us. And our top mention goes actually to Well Dipper once again with Dadbert, of course. Dadbert art. And our top tweet was actually the Great Chickening tweet that EE put out for Divinity, which is awesome. And for Facebook, we have gone up in reviews. We're at 54 reviews. We're still 5 stars, so thank you guys so much. Great reviews. And we're increasing on likes over there so by 327 this month versus 307 last month. So continuing to grow on all of our fronts, which is pretty exciting, and I think for all of us, when we look at our top line, it means Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and Patreon are all growing. And I think that that's been amazing for all of us, and we couldn't be any more happier. Other than maybe getting more sleep. Actually, I slept in for once. So I think that's it. That wraps it up. I don't know if you guys have any final things you want to say before we wrap it up. EE?
Quite honestly, community has been fantastic. Absolutely lovely. They've been really, really nice. Really friendly to everyone. Like, in general, stuff like the mods have had to do or any actual moderation has been so incredibly rare, and it's normally not been people in the community. It's normally been like the odd troll that comes from outside and walks in, and even then the mods have had to do very little. So the community's been amazing, so thank you very much, everyone.
All right, and Bentham, any last final things you want to mention?
I suppose just the continued growth of everything has just carried on flooring, as particularly the Patreon. The fact that it went up in a massive, what we thought was spike last month, and it's sort of holding at that rather than dropping, which is what we thought would happen this time, which is crazy. Like, as well as all the big one-time jumps up by people to like legend and stuff and deity. There's also a bunch
I think that people got like, to do the one-shot things and are like, this is actually pretty cool.
We were also getting a lot of people at lower tiers, which is really awesome because they're an important foundation. Like, you need those. You can't just have the big ones.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Ones to also keep us growing, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and I think I think hitting the ball on the nose, EE, with the everyone has been super nice. I always see people coming into the community going, hitting the ball on the nose. You never heard that before?
Hitting the ball on the nose. The ball has a nose?
Yeah. No, you hit the ball on the nose, on the bullseye on the nose. Anyways, okay, it's fine.
But that means that the ball has a nose.
No, you are throwing the ball and the ball hits the nose. It hits the...
I need a ball.
Okay, never mind. It's fine.
I just have a ball at the screen. I don't have one.
Never mind. He's not getting it. It's a saying. It's just a saying. Everyone has been super nice, and I always see new people coming into the community and are like, I think we've seen this at least once a week. I know Bentham has been in the chat too, is hearing people say, I didn't expect to come into this community and be like so welcomed and like find a home, but this has been like amazing for me. And like, I just think finding that network and community of people has been really cool, and providing other people with fellow tabletop gamers has been pretty sweet. So thank you guys for being amazing.
Making Maggie cry was the highlight of my month.
No, he fuels on our tears. And then
as well, I've been hearing a lot recently about people saying that they've started playing tabletop RPGs because they watched Roll4It, which is really cool. Loads of people saying like, they're having their first game, or they're playing a game with family, or they've joined a group somewhere, or they've started a group somewhere.
Yes.
And that is really cool to see.
I want to do for February, I want to do like your first tabletop love. Like whether it's like a character that you fell in love with, or like your first tabletop game that you actually loved. That would be really fun. So I want to like gather everyone's stories and kind of do a cute thing with that.
I took a player's finger.
Okay, you've taken a lot more than a finger, so we'll just leave it at that.
I was torturing them, and I knew that if I just made them roll willpower rolls, no one would care. But since they were a gunslinger, I was like, I'll take your finger off, and they were like, no, I'll tell you anything.
Oh god.
And that's where it all began. That was my very first time GMing.
Wow.
Oh gosh, no wonder. Help, send help. Yeah, we're ending it there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for our monthly newsletter. We hope that you guys are continuing to enjoy these. As always, this is kind of a new thing for us, so if there's things that you'd like us to get rid of in these, like, oh, that part's taking too long, or things you want us to add, let us know in the comments below on Patreon of this. And obviously we asked for a couple other things, so feel free to hop in there. I know between the three of us, we constantly are trying to keep up with you guys and your comments and reply to you as quickly as possible. So if you do have any questions or concerns, also if you have issues with Patreon, just message us on Patreon. I think a lot of people have been messaging us on social, which is fine. I always try to get back to you, but we have to know who your Patreon name is in order to figure out how to fix your problem.
And use the Patreon messaging system. Don't use the community tab, because that doesn't work very well.
The community tab actually doesn't tell anyone when you actually use it.
Yeah, it doesn't give any notifications. You got to manually check it. It's like YouTube private messages. You don't know you've got one until 3 months.
I thought I was getting them. I was seeing them on there. Yeah. At least I was getting a push notification on my phone, so I don't know. Okay. I think most people just don't post us there, but yeah, you can just private message us, and that's good.
Also,
so thank you.
If you need to ping someone, generally ping Bentham, because generally Bentham is in charge of the Patreon, not me.
He's our admin.
I will just be looking up some contracts and be like, sorry, what is this about this Patreon thing?
Yeah, and I think maybe we should make a thing that kind of like explains everything again. But we do have a post that talks about stuff like EE handles all of our finance, legal. We want to keep him that way. We don't want to have to give him more work to do. I hope we're taking a lot of things off of you, EE. If you ever feel overwhelmed, let us know.
It's great.
Bentham's handling admin on Discord, admin on Patreon. So any of those things, if the post doesn't go live at a time that you guys need it, all that kind of stuff that's on Bentham's side.
Poke me.
Yeah, just poke him. And then
poke me as well.
On marketing side, that's all me. So if you have ideas on marketing, I think people actually were suggesting the marathon thing, but we had already planned it. So thank you guys for suggesting it. But we had already planned it on our end too. It was something that we wanted to do. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next month for another
FYI,
episode of
the
our monthly
marathon
newsletter.
was on longer than I was away for my holiday.
Yeah. Yeah. It was on for so long. We under
90 hours in the end. It's hard to say exactly when because there were a couple of hiccups with it.
There were hiccups, yeah, that's why. All right.
Over
Well, thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Take their fingers.
No!